All right, and we're live. Welcome back to the Mirabella Mindset. All right, guys, so I had a whole plan for today's podcast, and I'm throwing it out the window. I was just in a chat with somebody, and they asked me a question, like what are the three, or what is the one piece of information that helped me change my career? And it completely threw me off today. So it was a question or a series of questions that I heard at a Tony Robbins event, and it was, what business do you think you're in? What business are you really in? And what business do you need to be in? And when I heard those three questions, I thought I was in the hair business, right? That's a business we think we're in. We do hair, we take care of clients. But what business are we really in? The relationship business. We're nurturing relationships. We are trying to market people. We're sales, we're photographers. And I see the memes all the time, right? I see the memes of stylists, like when they ask you what you do for a living? Well, I'm a hairstylist. I'm a marketer. I'm a therapist, I'm this, I'm that. And it stacks up all the different things that you do. But in reality, what are you? What business are you really in? Think about that question for a second. And then think about what business you need to be in. And this really is more so for my owners out there. And when I sat with this question, I have a couple of businesses that I run. And obviously I run a hair salon. I run my e-commerce store, and I run a coaching business. And when I sat there and I thought about these questions, which one is more important to me, right? Because I can't run all of them. So I have to hire people to run the businesses for me. But where does my focus go? Where does my attention go? And where can I direct my attention, which will directly impact all of my businesses equally? And so I sat and I took notes and I wrote, and I really thought about these questions. And so the business that I'm really in, and all you owners out there are really in, is you're in the recruiting business. Think about that for a second. What do you need a steady flow of in your salon to be successful? Really, what do you need? You need clients, but you can't do them all by yourself. So you need stylists. So the business you're really in is in the recruiting business. You're in the, obviously, marketing business, but you have to learn how to attract stylists into your salon and clients into your salon to keep the stylist busy. So I want you guys to think, what do you do on a daily basis to get that main objective done? Like, so many owners, they're artists, right? So you're used to doing hair, and you're used to having that be your main source of income. And so when you hear these three questions, what business do you think you're in? What business are you really in? And what business do you need to be in? It's hard for you to understand that you're a business owner now. You're not a hairstylist. You're not an artist. So you have to take that hat of an artist off and become the entrepreneur. And if you don't have a steady flow of clientele coming into your salon, how are you going to keep everybody busy and happy? And this is where, like, a lot of stylists, this is where things go wrong in their career. It's because they're working for an owner of a salon. And I'm speaking mostly to commission owners here. It's part of your job to keep your team busy with clientele. That's the reason why you have that trade-off. You're pulling a commission from them. If you're in a rental salon, not so much, right? It's they're renting a chair. You're more of like a landlord, and you're creating a space for them. So your main business is really like real estate, and you have to make sure that your tenants are happy. But when it comes to commission salons, it's your job to fulfill some needs for your staff members. And we have two sets of clients as owners. You have your clients that come into the salon that get their hair done or their makeup done or whatever you do in your salon. And then you have your team. And when you make the switch of looking at your team as your clients too, it changes everything. So the business that you need to be in, start unpacking that a little bit and start thinking about where you should be directing your attention to. Because once you're done doing hair, then you have the business stuff to do. And if you're lucky enough to make the right decisions and right choices, then you truly become an owner. But many owners aren't owners. Many owners are just operators who have a job, and their job is to pay the rent, make sure people are coming on time, make sure that all the bills are paid, make sure you have coffee, make sure there's toilet paper. And it's like a never-ending list of things to do because you never learn how to delegate. So the business that you need to be in is, obviously you need to be a business owner, but it's recruiting, it's leadership. And how many times do you have a team member that has left your salon to stop doing hair? If this is a reality for you, right? It happens to everybody. You're not the only one. And what do they try and do? Right? These stylists, they went to hair school, and they think that It's going to be glamorous. It's going to be easy. They're going to start doing hair, and the clients are going to flow to them because they're so amazing at hair, and they're really likable, but they never reach that success. And their friend who's doing real estate is doing well, so now they want to be a realtor. Then they want to get into mortgages. Then they want to become a bartender. And they start looking at other jobs out there that their friends are doing that they're somewhat successful at, and then it's diverting their attention from the job that they're doing right now, which is hair. So as an owner, you have a lot of stuff you have to take care of. But if you are proficient at recruiting, attracting talent into your salon, keeping a steady flow of clientele into the salon, it's going to dynamically change your business once you change what you're focusing on. Where you put your focus, that's where energy goes, that's where energy flows. And if you're only focused on your personal book, then you're missing the opportunity of what it's like to truly be an owner of a business. And once I made that switch for myself, because I was a really busy stylist who became an owner, and I depended on that income to be successful. Like that's how I made my money, right? I never really realized that I can leverage 10 other people if I focus my attention on them and really build them up. And then now it's not just me doing $1,000 a day behind the chair. I got 10 people doing that. And if you have a 50-50 commission split, just to make numbers easy, that's $5,000 a day because they're getting one each. Well, you're splitting the 1,000 with each one. So they get 500, you get 500 times 10 people. It's 5,000. So when you start changing your mindset from a stylist to an owner, you have to look at things under a completely different perspective. And it's tough because it's your brand and your culture, and you feel the need to micromanage people. That's never going to get you freedom, right? Because the point of becoming an owner is freedom. And if you are always working behind the chair, and if you always feel like you can never get ahead, you're not going to be free. And then when you lay in bed at night, you're not free from your thoughts because you're thinking about the salon and you're worrying about who's going to open up tomorrow and what happened with the client. I got the 1-star review. You have to focus on one particular thing each day of the week. And when you really truly figure out what that is as a business owner of a salon, right? It's going to be recruiting and obviously leadership and other things too. I want you guys to re-ask yourself those questions real quick. What business do you think you're in? What business are you really in? And what business do you need to be in? Think about that for a second and just digest that because it's going to be a dramatically different answer than you think. When I first thought of that answer, I thought I was in the coaching business, right? I got to coach my team to be better hairstylists. I got to coach my managers to be better leaders. And I have to coach my online store workers to be more proficient at doing stuff online. And that's partially true. But if I don't have new clientele coming in, if I'm not recruiting new visitors to my website, if I'm not able to attract clients or customers in either area, then I won't be successful. You'll never be able to drive your business to a place where you can step away from behind the chair and run the business. You're always going to be an operator. So with that being said, I want you guys to take a minute today. I want you to really think about what your answer is. And I want you to take some time and write it down and figure out what business are you really in and where do you want to go. And one of the things that make people successful is the ability to recognize patterns in the industry. And this is another segue into this particular class I was at. And they piggyback these 3 questions with what patterns are going on in the industry. And that's what makes you successful. And the patterns in our hair industry today, and all the owners who are watching this right now are going to definitely agree with me. In salons, owners of salons I'm talking about here, commission salons specifically, suites. So suites and like studios and lofts and all those things, right, that stylists leave your salon for and go to, it's disrupting the industry. There's a pattern disruption. So in order to maintain being successful, you have to position yourself to be ahead of the pattern or create a new pattern. So for myself, that's why I created the commission structure that I created in my salon. We start at 50% and we max out at 70% commission. And for me, I needed to recruit people. But how do I recruit people in an industry that's dramatically changing from what it used to be? Like now, stylists don't really care about money as much as they do about freedom. And so they don't really care about the 401ks or the benefits A lot of them care about managing their own time, having freedom, having weekends off. And it's a dramatically different business than what I was brought up in the 90s and the early 2000s. It's way different today. And being that my salons are in New Jersey, there's no chair rentals here. So this is something brand new to owners. And a lot of them are feeling the pain because their salons are empty. And because their salons are empty, they have to stay behind the chair to produce an income in order to pay the bills. But if you got better at recruiting, you got better at attracting stylists, and you got better at attracting clients to get into the salon to get their hair done, you wouldn't have this problem. And so the pattern in the industry today is suites. People want to be free. They want to be independent. And I guarantee you're going to see that pendulum swing back the other way to come back to that team atmosphere in a salon. And when it does, you better be ready and prepared to have that win-win conversation with different stylists who went to a suite on their own, and now they're looking to bring their clientele that they built into a salon atmosphere because they're tired of being alone or there's not enough room in the suite. So figure out, and I want you to ask yourself, if you were a younger stylist, what would make you want to go to a salon? Like, what would get your attention if you were scrolling through social media? And that's the kind of content you should be putting out as an owner. You should be grabbing the attention of different stylists. One of the things that I like to do, and you guys can take this idea, why don't you create a Facebook group for just people in your community, hairstyles specifically, right? So if you were to create a Facebook group for all the hairstylists in a 10-mile radius, even 20, a couple counties that are in your area, and you put valuable educational content on that Facebook group, and you truly build a big community of hairstylists all around town, and the next couple communities or whatever you live, a couple cities, I promise you, you're going to be able to pull from a pool of well-deserving stylists who need to work on your team. So don't just think about putting out content like, hey, I'm hiring now. I see ads all the time. Hiring, we need stylists. Like, it doesn't work. Obviously, you guys know it doesn't work. So start the Facebook group page and deliver value. Position yourself as an owner of a salon who's here to support your team. And if you put valuable content, haircut tutorials, coloring tutorials, you put tips on how to attract a clientele, and you create this Facebook group and you communicate with everybody, the second you DM them, they already know who you are. It doesn't just have to be you creating the content. It could be someone in the group. So it's an easy thing to do, but just no one does it. It's simple. Like, if you guys don't know how to make a Facebook group, go to YouTube. YouTube, how do I make a Facebook group? Create a Facebook group and get to work. I promise you, within a year of building a Facebook group up, you're going to have a ton of stylists reaching out to you to come work in your salon. So that's it for today, guys. We're wrapping it up on a quick podcast. So I'm going to leave you with the 3 questions one more time. What business do you think you're in? What business are you really in? And what business do you need to be in? And when you truly answer those 3 questions, it's going to change your daily habits and daily actions of what you do to build your salon business. So if you're watching on YouTube right now, click subscribe. If you're on Instagram, we're going to stick around for another minute or two just to go through some questions you guys had in the chat over here. But if you are watching on Instagram, also go to my YouTube channel. It's in my story. There's a link to that channel. Make sure you subscribe so you can get involved in that chat over there. We're going live every day, Monday through Friday at noon. If you guys want to see me talk about a topic, drop the topic in my DMs. James is on the YouTube chat right now. If you guys are struggling to grow a business, if you don't know what to do, if you like, where do I get clients from? Where do I get stylists from? DM me the word grow, and I'll show you some strategies that worked for me. And if you're interested, I'll have an amazing program. It's a community, it's curriculum, it's coaching. If you're a good fit, I'll invite you into the program and we'll get things going. But let's scroll through here and see what's going on the Instagram chat. All right, guys, drop questions right here if you're still in the chat. All right, do you advertise for clients? All right, so, do you advertise for stylists? Yes. So the same way that I attract clients in my salon is the same way I attract stylists in my salon. I run ads for stylists. And you have to think, how much do you make off a stylist if you're a commission salon? Right? You got to figure out your cost per acquisition of that stylist. And then you figure out, I could spend $20, $30, $40 to get an application in, because if they're a good fit, I'll make so much more money than that over the course of a year. So don't look at your daily ad spend as like, oh my God, I'm spending so much money to attract stylists. No, you want to do that. Get ahead of your competition. Get ahead of the salon down the street who's only posting that Instagram post once every 2 weeks about hiring. It's not working. And don't go to the hiring websites like monster.com. They don't work. Like, you're never going to find a hairstylist on monster.com or LinkedIn. It's just not going to happen. So what you need to do is be where they're at. TikTok ads, Instagram ads, YouTube ads, showcasing why your salon's different. Put a little money behind it, and you'll attract the stylist that you want. And send them to an application page. Like, send the stylist to a place where they could fill out a form, and you ask a couple questions to make sure they're a good fit for your salon before you call them back. Stop wasting people's time, right? And have your core values there on that page where they opt in. Really showcase what it is that your salon has to offer. And then when you read the questions they answered, you'll be able to identify if they're a good fit or not. So you can just email them back or text them back like, hey, sorry, we filled the position. Or, hey, I'd love to meet you and learn more about you. So that's what you need to do if you want to attract clients or stylists into your salon. Guys, thanks for watching. I will see you guys Monday at 12. James, we're going Monday at 12?
Monday at 12.
All right, Monday might be at 1 just to switch because I got my coaching call at 12. I didn't change yet. So I'm going to talk to the people in my community and see if they can swap those times. It's all right, but every other day will be 12 until we get to the week after. All right, guys, I'll see you later.